If you're an e-commerce brand owner, this is your warning sign, so listen carefully. Now, your e-commerce brand is probably dying right now or has been on a decline, or let's just be honest, things have been hard. The thing is, most don't even know it. Like the house plant you keep forgetting to water but somehow still looks alive. Trust me, it's not, and it has been tough for a lot of businesses. Now look, after managing 124 million in ad spend last year, we're seeing the same pattern everywhere. Brands focusing on all the wrong things while ignoring what actually matters in 2025, 2026, 2027 to stay alive and thrive. Now, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Arsalan from AKM, where we help scale, grow, and invest in the DTC businesses that we love. And today I'm going to be showing you exactly why most e-commerce brands will fail this year and what the top 1% are doing differently and the warning signs you need to be thinking about and really keeping an eye on. And no, it's not another UGC hack or creative strategy tool that will revolutionize your business and give you 20% more growth year on year. Now, let's be real. We need to talk about what's been happening right now. Now, we've had 5 straight years of absolute chaos in e-commerce. In 2020, we start with the COVID shutdown. Factories in China shut down, factories all around the world are delayed. Overnight, brands couldn't get inventory. Now we move on to 2021, iOS 14 comes in and it destroys attribution and ad performance around the world. 2022, financing dries up as DTC IPOs crash about 70 to 90% and funding becomes very scarce and much more difficult to do for a lot of these brands that were just raising and raising. 2023, inflation hits and everyone is scrambled to get profitable and trying to squeeze out efficiency wherever they can. 2024, it's the election year. Pretty much everything is frozen. Facebook has a very flat line of a year, a lot of ups and downs with their AI, like it's a mess. And now 2025, we've got potential tariffs, trade wars with China, and a bunch of uncertainties regarding what's going on with the economy, the market, the buying behavior, and the consumer confidence. Now, it's been 5 years of repeatedly getting punched in the face. And if you're struggling, I want you to know that it's not just you. Some of the smartest operators that we know and have come across are facing multi-year revenue declines, profit declines, business shrinking, and so forth. But here's the thing, the brands that are surviving aren't the ones with the best ads or the trendiest products. They're the ones who understand these 3 fundamental shifts. Now, shift number 1 is the death of a one-channel brand. If you're still getting 80% of your revenue or even more just from one platform alone, you're already in a very dangerous place. You just don't know it yet because maybe you're lucky or maybe that time hasn't come. But you're basically the e-commerce equivalent of those guys who still think that MySpace is coming back. You have to just look at the data. Brands with 70% plus revenue from a single channel have a 3x higher failure rate in 2025. Brands who were doing this last year have already seen that. Why? Because you're one algorithm change away from bankruptcy or potentially shrinking your business by 50%. You're literally one Mark Zuckerberg mood swing from closing your shop. Let me show you what happened to one of our brands last year. Now, they were crushing it, 300K a month, 90% from Facebook. Then one day, the ad account gets restricted for 2 weeks. No reason given. And we have reps, Meta being Meta, we get it back. But their revenue drops faster than the crypto market in 2022. Now, from what we've seen, the brands that are winning right now have a maximum of at least 40-50% revenue coming from any single channel. They're trying to really build real omni-channel businesses that don't just rely on one platform. A great example, and the averages of 5 of our top brands that are thriving in the market for the last 2 years, we have around 40% on Meta, 25% on Google and YouTube, about 15% on TikTok, 15% on email and SMS, and then about 10% through retail, Amazon, and other platforms like AppLovin or the things that we decided to try out. That is the average of the top 5 brands that we're dealing with in the last 2 years that are going up instead of going down or flatlining. Now, this isn't just diversification, it's survival. It's the difference between having multiple income streams and living paycheck to paycheck, except that paycheck is controlled by an algorithm that ultimately never wants to see you win. Now, the second biggest shift is learning and understanding the cash conversion game. Now, we have been talking about this for the last maybe 5 years, but here's what nobody's talking about. Your cash conversion cycle is more important than your ROAS. Now, I know this is just about as sexy as discussing tax strategies with your friends, but stay with me here. Now, we've analyzed more than 200 brands in the last probably 6 to 12 months, like roughly that. And we have found something shocking. Brands with 90-day plus conversion cycles have a 68% chance of failure regardless of their profit margins. We've seen it time and time again. Brands that do amazingly that have to scale back or even shut down ads completely for months because their cash flow conversion cycle just was not good enough. You could be making 40% margins and still go bankrupt in this world. It's like having a Ferrari with no fuel in it. It looks great, but it doesn't go anywhere. Now let me break this down with real examples. We had a brand doing 8 million a year, 35% profit margins, looking fantastic on paper, but they were paying suppliers 50% upfront, waiting 120 days for inventory, and then another 30 days to get paid by customers. Meanwhile, they're still spending to acquire customers every single day. Do you see the problem there? Do you understand how much cash you have to have? And here's the thing, this isn't just about being smart with money. It's an entire ecosystem that has changed. Let's say that today your name is Bob and you sell widgets made in China, mainly because for the last 2 decades, due to the government rules, the government subsides, and US overregulation, he cannot make widgets anywhere else other than China. Right? Now, manufacturing is concentrated in those specific regions, and when those regions face challenges, your entire supply chain collapses overnight. Now, when financing dries up and you can't fund purchasing orders, and when inflation hits you, your margins get squeezed from every single angle, and things go wrong very, very quickly. And I'm not kidding you, I have seen brands that did amazingly for the last 6 years suddenly be hit with reality and realize they can't even beat their 2021 numbers anymore simply because of that cash flow conversion cycle. Now, the winning brands have completely restructured their operations and negotiations. Supplier terms being net 60 to 90 instead of upfront payments, inventory management being JIT instead of bulk ordering, and then marketing spend aligned with the cash flow, not just arbitrary budgets month on month or based on ROAS targets. Manufacturing, exploring alternatives to China where possible, and if that's a viable solution based on your COGS. One of our brands went from a 110-day cycle to 45 days and doubled their growth rate without changing their marketing at all. No changes to ads. Their ads didn't suddenly get better, their products didn't change, they just stopped strangling themselves with their own cash flow. And this is a crazy statistic. We actually ran this through AI as well. Brands with under a 60-day cash flow conversion cycle can spend up to 40% more on acquisition while maintaining the same profitability as a brand that doesn't. That's like getting a 40% discount on all of your ads just by fixing your operations and how you manage that cash flow in and out. So show me a Facebook ad hack that can do that. And the last shift is the community advantage. Now, the biggest predictor of success in 2025, in our personal opinion, based on the facts that we're seeing, your organic to spend ratio. And no, having 100K followers who never buy anything does not count. That's just digital hoarding or vanity numbers for vanity's sake. Brands with less than 15% organic traffic are spending 40% more on customer acquisition. Now, it's simple math. If you're 100% dependent on paid ads, you're competing with everybody else's ad budgets. It's like trying to outbid billionaires at an auction. Not a great strategy unless you're also a billionaire. Now, we had a skincare brand come to us spending about 80K a month on ads with almost zero organic presence. Their CAC, $68. Now, over the span of the next 6 months, we helped them implement different artificial peaks and a clear marketing calendar strategy for content to then help them build a community, create consistent content, and develop brand advocates. 6 months later, their CAC dropped to $41 with the exact same ads. Now, why? It's because when somebody now sees their ad, they've already heard of the brand, and it's a lot easier to then convert that customer and your CAC comes down. And in this ecosystem where everything is connected, community becomes even more critical. Again, as some of our good friends have said, when things get hard for Bob, he starts to fire people. He fires agencies, he stops spending on creative, and the game goes very zero-sum very quickly. Now, the brands that are crushing it right now have 25% plus organic traffic. They have active communities, not just a follower list. They have user-generated content ecosystems where they're getting more and more user-generated content, which is real from their customers. And they have brand advocates, not just customers, people that love their products, that use their products, that come back and buy and refer and talk about them. This isn't just about saving ad spend, it's about building a moat that competitors can't copy. Anybody can copy your ad or your value proposition or even your product, but nobody can copy your community. Bear that in mind, keep it in mind, and execute it where you can. So what should you actually be doing about this? Well, here's your playbook and I want you to take it away right now. Number one, audit your channel mix. Map out your revenue by channel. Identify single channel dependencies if you have them already. And then from there, build a 12-month diversification plan. Figure out how you're going to eventually start to get customers from other streams and not just rely on one platform if that's the case. And if you already are diversifying, great, double down on it. Now, I'm not saying abandon Facebook. We still stand as an agency that Facebook for performance marketing is still one of the best platforms. So I'm not saying don't let Facebook be your entire business. All I'm saying is don't let Facebook be your entire business. That's like having one client who makes up 90% of your revenue. It's not a business, it's a hostage situation waiting to go wrong. Number 2 on this list, and this is self-explanatory, it's the most important thing. Fix your cash flow. If you haven't already done this, calculate your true conversion cash cycle. Okay, this is number 1, it's important. From there, renegotiate your supplier terms. Try to get as much leverage as possible from these suppliers that you've already built relationships with, hopefully. And if you haven't, then go and build them. And number 3, align your marketing spend with cash flow availability. Don't overextend yourself, don't over leverage when your numbers don't support it. Now, this might mean having uncomfortable conversations with your suppliers. It might even mean changing how you forecast your inventory. It might even mean changing how you forecast your revenue or setting different targets completely. But it's a much better alternative than the conversation of saying, sorry, we're gonna have to shut down because we don't have the cash flow to sustain this. And it makes no sense to have all of this headache and stress to run a brand that is not profitable. And number 3 on this list, I already said it, is build a real community. Invest in organic content. Create a two-way engagement between you and your customer. Develop brand advocates by really honing in on what the pain points are. What are your value propositions? What are the things that only you can say about your product or brand, and why are customers buying into that? And no, posting product photos with a little drop a heart if you love our product is not community building. That's just digital panhandling. And finally, the hard truth. Now look, I know this isn't a sexy video. It's not 10x your ROAS with this one trick, advice that fills your YouTube feed. It's not as exciting as hearing about some 22-year-old who supposedly made millions drop shipping fidget spinners back in 2021 and then did something else. It's about what actually works in 2025. Keep that in mind. The e-commerce landscape has fundamentally changed, and the brands that will survive aren't the ones with the best Facebook ads or best Google ads or the trendiest products. They're not even the ones that are following every shiny new tactic. They're the ones building sustainable businesses with diversified revenue, efficient cash flow, real community, and the best ads to then complement that. Now, I was talking to a founder last week who was obsessed with optimizing his Facebook ads while his business was bleeding cash month on month because he had a 110-day cash flow conversion cycle that he could not afford. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Sure, the deck might now look better, but the boat is still sinking. And I finally want to end this with, if you're struggling right now, you're not alone. It's been 5 years of roller coaster bullshit. Great brands that we know are facing multi-year revenue declines. Awesome agencies, freelancers, COOs, CEOs are getting fired or just giving up. It's not you. It's a 5-year macro beatdown where every year brings a new challenge for founders. And if you're still in the game, I really respect your grit. If you've been taken out, get back in. You're just as smart as the rest of us, and you can do it. And if you're running an e-commerce brand and want help implementing these strategies, hit that link below. My team does free audits all year round where we help you understand what you need to fix first and which direction you need to go in, completely free of charge. And remember, in 2025, it's not about how much revenue you can generate. It's about building a business that can actually survive for the next 5 years, because growing 100% year on year does not matter if you're going bankrupt doing it. Now, if you found this video valuable, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and if you got confused by anything, make sure you leave a comment down below where we will help answer your questions. My name is Arsalan from AKM, and I'll see you in the next one.